Good everyone, you're welcome on Just to Be Online TV. I'm Abdulqadir Isiaq once again on your program, Issues and Reality. Today, we'll be talking about, we'll go into the legal, I would say opinions or professions, but much of legal opinions. First, we'll discuss a letter that was written by a popular legal professional. He said he loves to be called an esquire, not a barrister. The immediate past general secretary of the Nigerian Bar Association Kwara State chapter, who wrote a letter calling the attention of the governor to some statutory commissions that he has not constituted, I think, for the last 3-4 years. He, in his opinion, believes that will be drawing some that will be creating some legal what do they call it? I think lacuna if some people pursue some cases and all that. But also we'll go into the national scene where we see the cases that happen at the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, FRAN, and with a popular entertainer in Nigeria, and also the one that happened recently with a previously relatively unknown lady that has now gone viral. But first, we'll go to domestic issue. That is the issue with the consumer, statutory commissions. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the writer of that, or the author of the piece, Madam Taofiq Olateju. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank
you
for
like
having
to be
me.
called the barrister, I don't know.
Yes, that is the best way to address us.
But when we see lawyers, we always want to shout barrister.
It is only in this side of the world that people attach more importance to qualifications.
You see, the first time I heard that was from you, and the second time I'm hearing again still from you.
Yes, that is it. You see a lot of lawyers in other countries, they don't address themselves as a barrister. Now, if you call me a barrister, you are depriving me of some certain right, because I'm not only a barrister, I'm a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. I cannot call the barrister solicitor Olateju.
So you prefer to be called
Esquire. My name is Taofiq Olateju, simpliciter.
Oh, okay. I think for a lawyer, for a Nigerian lawyer, you'll be used to Latin.
Yes, because if you look at the development of law, it started from Latin maxims, and that is up to today. There are several Latin maxims,
and those are the things you used to cheat us.
No. It's Latin. So Latin is a language. So although not English, not Arabic, that people are used to. It's a language on its own. Like I say, medium.
So
there's justice.
I think I read something. I did history in school, and I read something that says that somewhere around the 17th, 18th century, that if you were speaking Latin in America, some people would believe you are a wizard of some kind, because Latin at that point has even became a cake. Now that is over 200 years ago, and you're still here speaking Latin.
Yeah, we will speak Latin because you see, law is a developed skill. It started from somewhere, and being conservative, we can never and we will never forget the origin of law, and that is why up to date, even if we want to address the court, at times we'll have to speak Latin words.
Okay, I think that's not the discussion for here. We'll find the day and the place to discuss that. But you wrote a piece recently.
Very well.
I read the piece, and before you wrote that piece, I think I've heard other people voicing the concerns, but to me, I felt it was just political or administrative responsibilities that really does not. Maybe some people, those people are just there to help the governor. If the governor decides that I don't really need you to help me, I can do my job, there's anything attached to that. But you were saying that it could create you gave a lot of instances, the legal instance, the administrative instance, and everything. So can you give us an overview of what you put on that piece?
You see, statutory commission, board members for agencies, they are not heirs of the governor. What the governor have full power over is people that work with him rather. in the sense that he may choose not to have special assistants, special advisors, and lot of that works directly with him. But when it comes to issue of mandatory provision of the constitution, the word used by the constitution is shall. So it is mandatory. There are statutory commissions. Even the governor alone cannot appoint them and the appointment will take effect. No, it will go to the State House of Assembly for proper scrutiny.
Okay.
And ratification before the appointment will now become official. Because it is the constitution that the governor sworn to protect and defend that established those commissions. So the now saying that it is the will of the governor to either appoint them or hold the appointment till eternity, I want to believe that that position is not correct.
Okay, but you see, before you voiced that piece, somebody made an assertion on a program I was listening to that this thing can create legal problems if this governor leaves and those statutory commissions were not constituted to address some issue. For example, in civil service, some promotions, recruitment have to be ratified by some of this.
The person is correct.
Some of this also, but I think that, don't you think that Nigeria today, we think more from the side of administration and politics, and then we forget, we fail to educate the government, because the government have legal advisors. He has, there's an attorney general, a statutory attorney general, and commissioner of justice in this area. Who do we blame for this? Is it the governor that is, should we say the governor is not listening or is not being rightly advised?
Well, I cannot specifically say that this is the right person that we will blame, because it is not in public domain whether or not the attorney general or special advisor on legal matter has advised the governor and the governor has failed to listen to their advice. But what we are saying is that there are a lot that this non-appointment has caused a lot of vacuum and a lot of, let me say, anomalies in the administrative settings of each of these commission and parastatals. Because before a parastatal will get approval on how to spend fund, there must be approval from this board. The board is not in existence. So what we are witnessing in Kwara now is just a one-man show. The executive will do the whole thing.
You see, are these people not members of the executive?
But that's what we are saying. That is what we are saying, that the commissions and board members, they are not members of the executive. Oh. What they perform is the role of check and balance.
Okay.
Similar to the role of a state house of assembly vis-a-vis the executive governor and the judiciary. So when you see these board members, they are the ones that will check the administrators, because they are not on field. They just look at, they are the ones that formulate policies, they are the ones that take disciplinary actions, they are the ones that looks at promotions, they are the ones that do other things that are allowed to carry out by the law. But their non-existence, nobody will do that thing. And by that, it has created a very bad history in recent time, and it also created a very wide vacuum in governance in the state, because nobody will perform that duty for them. And as you and I, as we are aware, there is none of these parastatal and commission that are not doing their daily activities. So if they are doing their daily activities, definitely somebody behind is running the show, which is against the wordings and letters of the Constitution.
Oh, but I want to ask you a question. You said that they are supposed to serve as checks, but there is another issue. Some people believe that, some people have voiced the concern that maybe this government does not believe in civil service that much, and some people have said, have alleged that the government does most of the thing through consultancy firms and all that. We don't have, we might not have the facts, but don't you think arguments like this support something, things of that nature?
All I'm saying is that when there is an express provision of the law, not only law this time around, the Constitution, that that is the apex law. Any other law that is inconsistent with the provision of the constitution, such law will be rendered null and void to the extent of its inconsistencies. So if the governor so wish that he listen more to advisory board or some consultant, he cannot do that at the mercy of the constitution. The constitution said do this, and like I said earlier, that the oath of office and oath of allegiance that the governor took was to protect and defend the constitution. So if the constitution is saying do this, and you are saying that you are bringing argument that the governor believes only in some consultants and the consultancy, and believes in some let me say some people, a group of people giving out advice, that will be a counterproductive to the provision of the constitution, which will be alien, total illegal, total unlawful to our law.
I think the first time you appeared on this show, we talked about local government. And I could vividly remember you made a statement that the law is the law, and that the state government has no option than to conduct elections. And after that, I think several that. And on that day, on that very day, we talked about the issue of FOI, and you said that there is no national court that will rule in favor of the government saying that they have to domesticate FOI, that you don't really have to domesticate it. I think a day or two after the program, a judgment was given at the Supreme Court, being consistent with what you said on this program. But I want to say, when this government came in, I'm looking at the legal history of this administration. When this government came in, one of the first things this government did was to suspend duly elected local governments, government chairmen and chairpersons. We dragged that for a very long time till those people were times were served out, and then we had to wait for like 3-4 years before an election was conducted for. And then there was some statutory commission that was dismantled by the government. They went to court. I think issues like that were solved, are supposed to be solved like the industrial court. Then if somebody is aggrieved, and then they can appeal
To the Court of Appeal.
Those cases are there. And we had another case with an attorney general that felt he was unduly relieved of his duty. He also went to the industrial court, and our government, this administration fell. He won against this administration. I'm saying that looking at the legal history of this administration, I don't think this administration has really had any legal battle that they have won. Are we having a government that is not legally rightly advised?
Well, I can't say that, like I said earlier, because of the fact that it is not within the public domain whether the governor has been advised, but the governor chose to do things in his own way. So we cannot conclude whether the governor was rightly or wrongly advised. But what we are saying is that the provision of the constitution is very, very clear and unambiguous. Anybody can pick it up and read it.
One thing I want to say is that as much as this board must be constituted, even the governor has no power to dismantle them without. I think the provision of the constitution, the government cannot dismantle them just by flames. It has to go through some process.
It doesn't have that power
exactly
to do that, because it is a tenured commission, and for the fact that it is statutory, what we mean by statutory is that it has statutory flavor. They lean, or let me say they sit on the law, not ordinary board members that there is at the wills and caprices of the governor, the ones that were not expressly stated in the constitution. You see, if you look at the vital roles of this commission, you will agree with me that the drafters of the constitution, they are very, very intelligent. Let's take, for instance, let us come to the issue of Judicial Service Commission. Sometimes in January, some members of the judiciary, staff of the judiciary, misconducted themselves. It was this Judicial Service Commission that sat and determined their matter. Now, having that scenario occurred now, if they sit down to look at and determine and give an outcome, a decision with respect to such misconduct, you can challenge it rightly in court, because people that are sitting to determine your own fate are are not legally constituted. Their tenure has expired while they are sitting to determine your own fate. And it is the constitution that gives them that power. And the constitution that gives them that power also attached to it tenure, 5-year tenure. So if they are outside the 5-year tenure, all whatever they perform, all other duties they perform, whether they collect salary, whether they take decision, is none.
Exactly, that's where I'm going. This government has conducted some recruitment, I think, promotions and everything. And this person said that if you have, it takes only one angry person on the street to go to court to say that these things were not rightly done, because I have it on good authority that there is no governing board of Kwara Poly too.
Very well, you are correct.
So all those,
there is one for courtman too.
So all those recruitment that have been done in those places and the promotions, it takes just one angry person that was not rightly served to go to court and say these things are not on point, that and the monies, the strengths, and the people that have been giving food will just go back home because somebody was angry and go to court. Rightly said that, because you said, I mean, as you lawyers say, that the law is what is law says, not the feeling of
not the law ought to be. It's not what it is, the exact language or tune of the law, but not what ought the law ought to be.
That I'm trying to feel for the government now, because the government is doing a lot. The ratifications are not done. Okay, I want to give a scenario. At the wee hour of the termination of the last administration, they did some recruitment. Maybe they did not do the calculations right. I think they have to be there for a year before they get their appointment. When this government came in, the very week they're supposed to get the appointment, it chased them home. That was when we have the issue of sunset teachers. If with what this government do, if the next administration that comes after it is not happy with some recruitment they did, and they can just hide under these little legal tangles and say, okay, it's because of this. I don't know.
It's not little, because I will continue to say it and emphasize on it. If the law, what makes us to know that this person is a governor, this person is a speaker, this person is a chief judge, is what? Is the constitution.
Okay.
If there is no law, if there is no constitution, we will not know that someone is a governor. That office, the office of the governor, was established, was created by the constitution. The commissions, another statutory, the statutory body, another governing board, they were subject of creation of the law. Now, and if you look at the provision of the constitution, it is not a willing thing. It is a must. I must have them, because the draft of the constitution have emphasized that there's going to be a serious problem in the event that they are not constituted. And part of the problems is what you are identifying now. And why, if you look at the tone of my letter to His Excellency, the Executive Officer,
more on appeal.
Very well. Because he's the Chief Executive Officer of the state. He can hire and fire. But as an activist, I want to believe that if things are not being done in the right way, let's forget whether the governor was advised or not. We as a person, we can come openly to advise the governor. And that is exactly what we've done.
One thing you forgot to add, you might have forgotten to add in that. Do you know that there are still some some commissions in this state, some ministries in this state that do not have palm sex?
I agree with you. It is not good, because if you look at the formations of these parastatals or these ministries, commissioners, they are just political appointees. The head of administration that will be in control.
That we don't even have head of service.
That's what I'm going to. The head of administration is the permanent secretary. The permanent secretary, if anything happened today that warrants the commissioner to vacate office, whether because of one or two things, it is the permanent secretary that will take over. And if there is no permanent secretary, what you are saying is that there is no head of administration. So we have several directors in the ministry. It will now guess who is the most senior director. And this director, there are a lot of things that determines who is the most senior, who who was the first appointed. But I don't mean you have a permanent secretary who is in charge of administration. He will be at the end of affairs. Or for failure to have a head of service in a very so-called civil service state, civil servant state like ours, is a mimicker to the progress of the state. It's a mimicker. But people will see it. Some people who I believe that they are not being, they don't love our dear state. They don't have the love of our state in mind. They will be looking at it from political angle.
They say that these things are going on now. So we are saying people are saying their salary.
But what we are saying is that it's not enough. What the governor is doing is architecting modern Kwara. We give it to him. But if that is not enough, there must be check and there must be balance. If these boards, these commissions are not put in place, nobody will be able to know whether an atrocity has been committed or not.
Exactly.
So that we will see how we will correct it or check it. That's one. Number two, the appointments, or let me say promotions that may have happened within the short period or the long period that these boards are not constituted can be a subject of litigation. And if you not only cross the state, human and capital resources, it will also cause us some setback. Because let me quickly remind you, the commissioner that was sacked when the government came in, on board, they went to court. And part of their claim, they settled out of court. And part of their claim is that if you don't like us,
you pay us
money that we have not even worked for. You get the point? Monies that we are entitled to by our appointment, but we have not worked for it.
But what was take the money?
Pay us. I will leave your work.
You can appoint anybody you like.
So now the money was paid, and is that a plus or minus to the state? When someone's service is needed for something, and the service was not rendered, and we paid for it. So that is the problem. But I want to believe that if it is the other way around, the commission members, they are not alpha and omega. If the commission wants to go above their power, the judiciary is there to check them also. But I don't know what is wrong with our politicians. At times, they will believe that they have some ideological knowledge that surpasses the law. And at times, they will even want to play on our judiciary, believing that the Nigerian judiciary as presently constituted is moving like a snail.
I have a lawyer friend that used to tell me that you see these politicians, they treat constitution as a list of suggestions.
Yes. That opinion is correct, because they will deliberately assault the constitution. They know that we will go to court. They will not take advantage of the fact that in court they will not give you judgment in a day. They will not give you. They may likely not even give you in a week, months, years. So before you come back, time has elapsed. So at the end of the day, they will still have their way. But they forgot quickly that history will not be kind to them.
I think we should leave that aside. But this issue, I think some people will say that it's now a part 1, part 2, part 3 thing. First, it was Senator Adams Oshiomhole. Second, Kwara Marshall. And now this lady, I think her name is something Emasin. I've forgotten the name. But some people will tell you that different whips have been used to punish the same offenders. First, it was a senator. Nothing was done to him. No ban, nothing. He locked some people up. He was claiming that they wanted to extort him. These guys came out and, I mean, it was Epis. I think that one was Epis. These guys came out. They produced every evidence that he was on the wrong side of the law, but FAN was not out to give him any ban or to create any discipline and then NCA, now the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, did not do anything. Now we had Kwara who was actually blocking an aircraft that was, I think, with value jet. rightly he apologized to the public, but we saw a clip where he was still threatening the owner of the airline. I think that he has been banned for 6 months, but I think the ban has been lifted. So till the completion of the investigation. But here we are. We know. I think Wiki, as a lawyer, we not talk as if you know Nigeria, but we know how this things works. Now that it has been banned, if the investigation is completed in the next 2 weeks, then maybe the ban is not needed anymore. I think that is the kind of game they're trying to play. But I will give them the benefit of that. But this lady, some people have been saying she has been banned for forever. I don't know. But looking at the first side, before we come back to but I think the peculiar one is the one with the lady, because the lady is trying to portray that I'm not saying that I'm not at fault here, but I'm not the only one at fault. The flight crew are at fault too. But first to Shemele, second was saying now this lady Emasi, they got different punishments from the Nigerian system. And there is a man that will say that Nigeria has a criminal justice system. I think deliver to me. Do you think he's been proven right?
Well, let me first of all start that it is only in Nigeria that we over pamper people in authority and people who believe they are famous people. It is only in this country. In other countries, the law has respect for nobody. We even find solace in dealing with famous people, because that will send a good signal to you that if we are dealing with wealthy people like this, how on earth will not be able to deal with you people that you have nothing. So it is quite unfortunate that at times our laws here will not grab the downtrodden. We only grab the downtrodden, not the influential people amongst us, and that is the scenario that you have just created. But let me also add that the punishment meted out on the lady, to my mind, is not proportionate with what happened. And the two of them, Wasiu and the lady, the authority, NCA, I want to believe that they should give them fair hearing. All what they base their judgment on is the camera vintage. Or let me say, what people.
I think the NCA, to be fair to them, they have called out to people that said they were on the flight and the lady was not at fault, was not solely at fault, to come and be personal testifiers, to come and testify on behalf of the lady.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. They shouldn't come up with a punishment before investigating and coming out with the findings. Investigation should come, findings will follow, and punishment will thereafter follow. But saying, going on air that this is you have banned her for life, and another person is doing apologies. If you look at the international protocols and law that Nigeria is signatory to, the first thing that has to do with aircraft, the watchword there, let me say, is safety. Anything that can threaten safety will not be condoned. It will be taken, even in some countries, it is a terrorism act.
I think
it is terrorism.
Some people have been saying that hijacking a plane is an act of terrorism.
He hasn't even hijacked. In the case of Wasiu, he is trying to stop.
I think obstruction.
Exactly, obstruction. Yes, and if you look at our penal code, because you see these people, the drafter of these laws, they are very intelligent people. Although it has not happened before, but they are foreseeing that such thing will later happen in the future. There is a specific provision for that. That he who condemns himself in this way, he has committed this offense, and this is the punishment attached thereto. So, if you look at the law, committing an offense and thereafter tendering an apology does not make you to not be answerable to the law. No. No, 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 no. Even that one to us, legal practitioner, is an admission against interest. Because if you can never deny again that you never committed the offense. Because if you know that you did not commit the offense in the first instance, why are you apologizing? Why are you apologizing? Oh. You don't apologize. But you admit, already you admitted that you have committed the offense, and that is why the punishment is they're supposed to mete out the punishment on you, no matter who you are. But the problem here is, if you look at the scenario of two of them in court has been constituted by the law. There's what we call medusa interloper. Court will not wade into what is not presented before it.
Some people say that.
No, that is
Father Christmas.
You go to court with a complaint, and the judge that we refer to as court in some instances will now look at your complaint and will now apply the provision of the law and do the needful. So, in the case of Wasiu, the authority that he infringed on their principles and rules at no time arraigned him before any court of competent jurisdiction. So, the court cannot go there and say, go and bring Wasiu. No. We are not in a banana republic.
He's saying Fallujah, NCA, FA.
Yes, they are the ones that are supposed to go to court to complain to the police, to complain, and they were arraigned properly for that. But as we are speaking now, I want to believe that the needful can still be done.
But it has not been done.
It has not been done. But I want to believe that it can still be done. But because there's no time lapse in criminal
she has been taken to court.
Yes,
she has been. I think she has been remanded.
I saw the count charge. She was taken to court on assault and some other counts like that. And the law is that if a charge is preferred against you, they arraign you in court. The judge is at the liberty to either allow you to go home or send you to where you belong for the meantime, where the issue will be determined. But in the case of Senator Shomole and Wasiu, such has not happened. Why?
Are the body afraid of these people? Is the system afraid of these people?
Also, before I come to that question, also, if you look at the way the scenario was captured in the incident that we are talking about, you see that even the lady we are talking about can succeed if it takes out action against the authority. Why do I say this? The provision of the Constitution is very strict with respecting to inhuman treatment, degrading. The law frowns at it. We are not saying that you cannot have evidence, but why will you release such evidence to the public? That is the problem. You taking videos of the old scenario, supposed to do it confidentially, and if it is done confidentially, that will only be useful in courts and no other place, as it is being done now. Everywhere in the world now, if you open your social media, you will see it naked of the citizen. So it is what we refer to as inhuman treatment. There are a lot of international treaties, even our constitution. There are a lot of international treaties that is against it. The Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria 1999 amended is against it. That no matter what, cannot subject a human being like you to inhuman treatment. And if you say that the reason for, let me say, the underneath reason for faking the video is for documentary and evidence purpose, fine, it is good. But why releasing it to the public? So that is where the culpability is. And that is where the lady will have a course of action against the authority.
I think that's a very good place to leave. But I would say that one last thing I want to ask if the authority know that they have to swiftly take her to court, I think it's the courts that can determine our own fate. Why was the same authority not thinking in the same direction in the case of Ushomale and Osiani?
That's what we are saying. That takes me to the question you asked, this question now. We are saying that in Nigeria, and that is my preamble, in Nigeria, our government, they over pamper.
Is it our government or our system? Because there has already been, it has been consistent.
No, it's our government. It's the government. Who runs the system? It's the government.
Okay.
Yes, they are the one that over pamper them, maybe because of interest best known to them, which interests are inimical to the progress and development of Nigeria. And that is why you see that's why you see other people, other countries, they find it very difficult to come and invest in our own country. And there is no how we can survive without investors coming in to invest in our own economy. They first of all look at our laws. They look at the applicability of our laws. They will now reason that I will go and invest my
lighter cases, because she was having issue with hostess. Oshomole stopped a whole aircraft. You're saying they stopped a whole aircraft. This lady did not stop the whole aircraft.
You are the one now that is now trying to let me say, distinguish the offences. If offence has been committed, an offence has been committed.
All right.
So let the appropriate body investigate and let them charge any person that is culpable to court. So whether Oshomole stopped the aircraft and this other lady is assaulted hostesses, it's still an offense. What we are saying in essence is that the authority saddled with responsibility of doing this thing, even coming out at the first instance to announce that they have banned Wasiu Ayinde for 6 months is illegal. They have to listen to him, make a findings, and now make a pronouncement. They don't just believe on this audio or essay evidence. They have to invite him, listen to him. This is the allegation against you. How do you best defend this allegation? And they will now, that is they are carrying out investigation activities. And now they will now come to a finding. And they will now mete out punishment. That shouldn't be reversible. But like this one now, I just the press release sign, which can be denied at any time. And if you want, even if I'm telling you, it's a great lacuna. Even if you want to enforce that decision, Wasiu Ayinde lawyer or the lady lawyer can approach the court and say that in his own case he was not given fair hearing. He did not hear. He was not heard, and he will take the day because our constitution, section 36, is very, very clear. He must give any person alleged of any crime must be given fair hearing.
I think thank you very much. That's a very good place to leave it. That is Malam Taofiq Olateju. That's my legal teacher. I think I take legal lessons from him whenever it comes, both on and off this program. Thank you very much for giving us out of your site schedule. We really do appreciate. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you very much, our viewers and the crew. I remember seeing Abdulqadir once again. Do have a lovely day. See you next week.